Welcome to New Realities. My name is Alan Steinfeld, and as part of this ongoing series of New Realities, I present people who are bringing in that level of consciousness, an awakened level of consciousness, because now is a time for this transformation of this planet, of a higher awakening. And tonight's guest, Sandy Guarnotta, is very much in alignment with that, and thank you for being here again.
Thank you for inviting me again.
What's interesting about you is that you can function as a psychic, as a medium, as someone who could see beings who have crossed over to the other side, and also on this higher level of awareness. You know, so many people who look at people like John Edwards, you know, and they're just saying, oh, I see your mother there and father there, or who have crossed over. That's just one level of consciousness.
That's correct. There are, you know, when I refer to the gift means many different things and has many levels. Right. And just like there was education for everything else, there was education of the gift. And there are very different levels. And at initial levels, there is our psychic capability in tapping into it. Right. And then it rises into a higher level, and that becomes the mediumship. And that really is the opening, or the beginning, shall I say, for the next level, which is many other beings coming through, including those from other existences. So everyone has a different gift, has a different level, and some continue forth in this growth of the gift.
But I think it's sort of bad press to see that someone who can do that, people get the idea that's what spirituality is. It's just the idea, oh, I can be psychic. We miss these other levels. I mean, what you've just presented is a whole range of possibilities that takes us much more out of what I call that astral level.
Well, it actually ties into the evolution of the planet.
It does.
So initially, you know, you've seen in the past, 10 years or so, there's been psychics, mediums. And then, as we're evolving, and these other presences are here with us, presenting us this opportunity to evolve, you'll see now we're getting into there's medical intuitives. There's a higher level. There's actually those who communicate with other beings. Right. So it's really what has gone on, what the media portrays, and the presence that has been really kind of mirrors the evolution of the planet and the spiritual evolution.
Right, and actually even before the psychic, we had the psychological, okay.
Absolutely, and now you're talking my language.
Yeah, well, you're a psychologist, right? And
yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, that's one level of perception, and it's a valid level,
and it's a valid level,
because you work with people all the time on just the psychological level. Now, how do you integrate your psychic abilities into the psychological?
Well, you know, it's a very interesting question, and I understand now, as all is in synchronicity, there was no mistake that was the profession I was led to. Right. And it really was, the way I say it, and I'm sure many colleagues would not like to hear this, but it really was the beginning of understanding how the mind functions on a conscious level, and just slowly beginning on an unconscious level. I've found that so many times I've done private readings with individuals that will say to me in the one reading, you've assisted me to bring myself into an awareness in this one reading, and I've gone to many years of therapy and I was able to get to that point. And I think the psychology is a wonderful, wonderful tool to have, but what it is, it just brings you into the beginning. So I find that what now I do when I'm working with people is, if it's not a private reading, if it's purely psychology, I'm able to use my intuitive ability to help me see exactly what's going on for them.
So the psychic really assists the psychological.
Psychological step one. Right. Right. Yes.
And that is a grounding, because psychology came into a kind of popular understanding in the 20th century. Now we're in a new century. We're moving to higher levels of that same awareness. Evolution.
Yes.
Right. Evolution.
To understand. Yes.
But you know what I'm getting about you, if you don't mind me sharing?
Anything.
Okay. Is that you have an amazing level of compassion for people.
I'd like to think I do.
No, it's not about thinking. I'm just getting that you do, and your ability to tune in is through your compassion and to feel them, and in that feeling, these levels of perception open up in you to assist people in whatever way you can.
I find when I'm working with people, particularly actually in the meditations that I do, that I offer, that most of what comes through from the individual and not from the other side is, I really feel so strongly, sentiently, the dimension of their emotion and their emotional blockages, and where they're what we would call psychologically stagnant, and then I say spiritually stagnant, because that blockage and inability to work through whatever issue that they have incarnated and contracted to work through, then creates, that inability creates such difficulty on a level of soul ascension. And it's very empathic what I can feel when I'm in their presence. Actually, that I feel their pain, I feel their hurt, what they're trying to work through and why they're stuck in that, on that level.
But what do you think it was about you and your history that made you such a feeling? I mean, of course we all are, but you have something where you can separate your personal stuff, because we all have, into a really pure connection. What is it that you... Well,
I think, I mean, I would like to say that it's, you know, because just like everyone else, I too have had many, you know, issues and emotional difficulties that I've come to the point where I realized I needed to address completely. Work in progress, always will be, but the fact that, you know, I've walked that walk. And I felt those pains. You know, I felt the loss. I've had loss in my life. I've had issues like that. That I can actually be able to look at someone spiritually, look at the soul, know the pain, and say, okay, we're going to do the work. We're going to do the work. And be able to separate. I'm here, but we're going to do the work. I'm going to help you empathically. And
I think what you talked about just a second about planetary ascension, I think it's about feeling this human experience, feeling the totality of the human experience, owning it in a sense where, you know, if we felt anger or hatred once and we've owned those emotions, we own it on a soul level. And when you own something on a soul level, you don't have to have it again. And when we collectively own those experiences, the planet starts to ascend.
Yes, and one of the things that I tell people is, you know, I want to bring ascension one soul at a time, because that's the way it's done. You know, what I'm hearing as you're speaking to me is that, you know, you get it. You literally, they're referred to you as an emissary of light because...
Thank them for me.
They heard you. Okay. Because what you're in awareness of and the knowledge that you have is that this has to be done on an individual level. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Who was that's saying that? I mean,
that was actually Saint Germain that was communicating.
That was Saint Germain. I just was talking about Saint Germain. Are you particularly Saint Germain connected?
He comes to me. I mean, they all come to me. But actually, when I do a lot of work in meditations, he will reignite violet flames during the process of the meditation. He'll bring in the pink and blue light, and he'll actually spark in the heart chamber the violet flame.
Well, I think you could tell him, I think he's been my teacher at this period of my evolution for a while now.
Actually, much earlier.
Much earlier.
It began much earlier, yeah.
Yeah, no, I have a strong connection to the Saint Germain order. Is there anything else I should know from him?
No, I'm just laughing because I'm smiling what was said, and he said, no, just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
That you have our blessing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Our blessing is he stands forth, he's first, and behind him, Padre Pio.
Padre Pio?
Padre Pio and Mother Maitreya stand behind him.
But
I'm sorry, they stand behind what you're doing.
They do?
What that is, yes.
Padre Pio.
Yes.
How can I have a closer connection to Saint Germain, though?
Just ask.
Okay,
just ask. Just, you know, and I try to tell people all the time when I work with them on group levels, they are here. They are all here, whether it's the alien being in the Galactic Council or all of Ascension on the other side. They are here simply devoted to us and our ascension. And it's as simple as saying, I need your help, please come.
But when you say ascension, I may have an idea. What does it mean to you?
Higher level of vibration. The soul evolves. The soul works through the issues, the emotional issues.
And the physical body?
As the emotion is worked through, the physical body changes.
So the physical body is ascending as well?
Yes, because thought manifests emotional change, which manifests physical change. So it's a trilogy of vibration.
Thought, emotion, physical. Body, mind, spirit.
Yes.
In that sense.
Yes.
So our human bodies are changing, like you said before. We're
constantly evolving. That's why there's so many things going on in the medical field. We're starting to develop new strains of viruses, different disorders that we're not familiar with, that are unknown or have been unknown for a while. And that is as a result of the changes on the planet and the ascension.
Wow. So let's talk about what was coming through you before about this crop circle stuff, because I've been investigating crop circles for a long time, and I do feel that they are messages of higher beings.
Yes.
And here we are in May 2010, and we're still waiting for...
It's not time yet.
It's not time.
They're not time to be activated yet.
They're not.
No,
but usually earlier there's been... It will...
My understanding is that, and you're right, that was coming through before for me to share with you. The crop circles were placed here as containment areas. They have containment of energy. And their placement, where they are placed, and there are several, happen to be over very deep vortexes of energy in the Earth, Earth's energy, Earth vortexes. These circles are alien containment of alien energy. Very soon, they are going to be activated. And what that means, again, my understanding, my interpretation, what they're sharing with me, is that those circles are going to flood completely down to where the vortexes are to help even more so cleanse the chakras of our planet. That's what it's. There's the vibration, the alien energy is a very, very high vibration, very different, as I've been saying, throughout this communication. No pun intended. That will change our vibration much more quickly than it will on an individual level. We're going to need some extra help. That's what it is.
But do the individual symbols have a certain...
Yes. What is the sacred geometry?
Yeah. What's the purpose of that? What is
the symbols? I know that they've allowed me to do when I'm doing some healing assistance. If they ask me to do hands-on, which I do, it's rare. I've never been formally trained in anything. It's all what they've offered me. It's always in the symbols of the geometry, and those symbols are the symbols that are found in the crop circles. And I believe that's how energy filters through. The symbols are very important. I don't understand the complete meaning of it, but they tell me we will very soon.
Right. So we're going to get another download this year.
Oh yes, absolutely. Towards the latter portion of the year. Of the
summer.
A little bit later, I think it feels a little bit later. They'll actually, what I should say, let me rephrase that. During the summer, there'll be a lot of predominant earth change. A lot of water flowing again.
All over the planet.
Yes, unfortunately, yes. And then after that is a cleansing, literally, so that we can then have the next download, yes.
So maybe this year is a cleansing, and then there'll be... But we'll have some crop circles this year.
Yes.
With some
I see that coming, yes. Within our year, this time frame, yes.
Right. But there, we have these man-made problems, like this oil spill. I mean, that's
low vibration. It's in essence of low vibration.
Yeah, so it's not a cleansing; it's a polluting.
Yeah, well, that is again, our thought, our emotion. We manifest our reality, as you know. So what's happened in, perhaps greed, essence of greed, and essence of political climate and monetary climates for certain companies.
Right.
They've manifested that low vibration into it's now literally a spill.
Well, but that's affecting all of us.
Unfortunately, yes, particularly the animals.
Right, so, I mean, here we are trying to clean the vibration of the planet, and then we're also getting polluted at the same time.
Because what's happening is, as we're being presented with the opportunity for evolution, the duality is growing even stronger. The dark is dark, and the light is light, and it's almost this complete duality. And both are getting very strong. It's a battle of light, as you know.
It is. So you think there's forces that really want to keep the planet at the old vibration. So how do we, change that? How do we affect that? How do we...
One soul at a time by bringing in that light. One soul at a time by bringing into the awareness. If I could say anything that would be pertinent, that would be very easy for people to do, that is to meditate, daily to meditate. Because in that, we open up our awakening, we open up the awareness, just simply by meditating.
But how do you know, and maybe you know for yourself, when you're in that space, what's coming to you is of the higher vibration? How do you know what to trust?
Discernment is difficult. Discernment is something that takes a while. Like I said earlier, it's a skill. It must be practiced. If you allow yourself, many people think in order to meditate, what you have to do is just quiet the mind. That's not necessarily so. In fact, it's the opposite. You want everything to flow in, because eventually what happens is your vibration, thought, which is different from, and you discern the other vibration, which is telepathy.
So in the quietness of the mind, we start to hear our own thoughts, we start to get other messages, and then we also there's a noise in the mind. I mean, there's just the daily recycling of things that's noise, I say. So there's all these levels going on. But if you're getting something, how do you discern if it's the thing you want to do, or maybe it's some other forces telling you to do things that you shouldn't do? How do you get that clarity?
You're asking me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Because they tell me what it is.
But they could. But other things could be telling you, right? I mean, I guess you have a direct connection.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I can answer is to say I just know.
You just know.
But again, for me, this has been a process. So if it's been upgraded, it's been upgraded. And initially, in the beginning, when I was, and I'm not minimizing the capability, but just performing on a psychic level, that discernment did not come so easy for me. Now I know automatically. I know who it is that's speaking. They present themselves visually to me. They tell me who they are. They tell me what they want. It's all spelled out for me very clearly.
Right. So you've been really training for the last 10 years in this development.
Yes. Yep. As myself and the other side as the trainer.
Right. Oh, and you give classes in this.
I do. I give spiritual development classes. I do meditations to just bring people to a higher level, to bring in more light.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the spiritual development classes, you teach people this idea of discernment, right?
Yes, I try to teach someone how to meditate, and then through that practice to be able to discern messages, whether it's audient, voyant, sentient, just to train what's coming in and how to utilize it.
Right.
Yeah, and then to discern specifically telepathically.
Right. You see, I think you really have a unique gift because I've met.
Thank you.
No, I've met psychics, I've met channels, I've met visionaries, but no one's really had it all in one package like this. And what you're saying, there are levels of awakening.
Yeah.
And what do you feel is the next level for you? So you're getting downloads from planetary councils, and then you talk to the Elohim. Is there anything beyond all that?
I mean, I can tell you what they tell me, and that is that I will be ambassador for them when they come and present themselves in presence. And then I'm already paving that path by doing what I'm doing, obviously simply here with you today. That I will be their forerunner, as they're saying it.
So when these beings appear in their light form and meeting us in our physical form, and that's happening, I think, also with these pictures of orbs that have...
Yes, actually, orbs are a very interesting topic.
Yes.
Orbs are alien being in presence.
They are.
They're not. There's a misconception, has been for years, that they are deceased, or they are emissaries, or no, they're alien presence.
They're alien presence, because sometimes you get the whole flood of orbs. And I met a woman actually from Mexico. She was living in Mexico. These orbs would come through her body, and then powder would be produced out of her palms.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, and it freaked her out.
I'm sure.
But she'd have this, like what they call in India, vibhuti appear from her when these beings pass through her. And it's like a whole bunch of things. So, but when I was saying, when these beings appear, when everyone could see them, because now we can only photograph orbs on digital cameras, but we're going to see these beings.
You're going to see them.
Right here.
They're going to be right in front of you, just like I'm sitting with you now.
But they'll be light.
They will actually, they have the ability to, and they do so now with me, present themselves in many different ways, depending on, I think, the vibrational level of the individual that's going to receive him. Will be how they present themselves. Because, again, as I explained earlier, the vibration is so high, higher than anything we've ever known here.
Right.
It can physically, it's difficult to adapt to that presence. So for some it may be just a beam of light. For some it will be true presence, their form. It
reminds me of like Moses on the mountain seeing this form, of the burning bush, which wasn't really burning, it was a light phenomenon. And he said he was in the presence of this holy thing. And it's really not the great God as we know it, but it's the presence of greater energies.
Of universal creation.
Right, because I think the divine part is in all of us.
Oh, we are all divine.
Yes, so...
We're birthed from divine.
But these beings are more in touch with that divinity, or they emanate the divinity.
Yes, and that is because in their existence on what we call planet, they don't refer to it that way, but they've already gone through this process of evolution. They're like ahead of us in the stage of the game. So, yes, they are very much in touch with that.
And why is it so important for them about our evolution? Why is our evolution so important to them?
The same reason why we have compassion for one another. It's the same purpose. They're still learning lessons too. They're still growing too. Evolution is evolution for all. And
we're still connected to them. I mean, we're connected.
Yes.
In a conscious way.
Yes.
So they're here to help lift us up or to assist us, which will also help them.
They're going to function like the wind beneath our wings.
Uh-huh. Okay. So they're going to be appearing as light or something.
Yes,
I mean, I just want you to prepare the audience for what
they're coming.
Expect.
They're absolutely coming.
And what will they see?
Hopefully higher vibration than we have now. What they will, again, they will appear in different forms. They will appear as just simply a light, almost like, just a ball of light, or they will.
I've seen that
in different ways, kind of like an orb, or they will appear to someone as an emotion, an intense emotion, but emotion with form, physical form, or they are going to appear in their presence, their full presence.
For those that are ready for that.
That is correct. Not all are ready. Not all are ready.
And they're appearing now because the Earth itself. Talk about the Earth as a vibrational being. What's happening to that? Because it's raising its vibrations.
Well, yes, as I spoke earlier, as the core is cleansing literally out, as we do from our root chakra out up, and so is the Earth. So what's happening is the vibration is changing on the Earth.
The Earth itself, the density of the planet itself.
Yes, it's becoming a lighter planet. The vibration is becoming lighter, yes, as the cleansing is occurring and as the evolution is occurring. Because, the Earth has emotion also.
Right.
It's not just land. Everything is energy. Everything has emotion. And the more we have a thought or we feel an emotion, even if it's something negative, we're manifesting it. So the planet itself is responding to those manifestations. And that's why you hear me talk about how we are at such a low level. And we've created a lot of what is going on. But we are going to create that for the better. We're going to create light. We're going to bring it forth.
Right.
It's going to happen.
Are there places on the Earth that are higher vibration that would assist people in going to places like Sedona?
You mean, yeah, absolutely. Sedona has many vortexes, yes.
Yeah, no, I've been there. I love that place. Yeah. But going to these places, how does that assist us, and is it something we should do?
Yeah, I do think that is something we should do because for anyone, regardless of what level of awareness you're in, when you're in an element where there is so much vibration coming through, or there is an opening for the energy to flow more freely, you can access it.
I see.
Even if you're not in awareness or not at a higher level of awakening, the energy still vibrates in your human in the body. It will vibrate with the chakras.
So, what other places that you know of would it?
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu, great.
Johannesburg.
South Africa. Huh?
Yeah, Johannesburg. Dublin.
Oh. All right, Mount Shasta.
Yes.
Mount Rainier, the mountains?
Yes, all mountain form.
Because it's mountain.
Here, other countries, all mountain form. Mountain itself, the density of rock, the density, topographically the density, is a place where energy actually reflects, almost like the sun reflects off water.
Okay, so just to switch topics a little bit, you've been dealing with people psychically, right?
Yes.
But now you're bringing through this other visionary place.
Very different place.
Very different place.
Very different place.
Do you feel it takes you down to talk to people on a psychic level? Or is it all part of what you do?
No, I think it's just all part of what's being done. Yeah.
Right.
When I interact with someone on a psychic level, I see no difference.
Right.
For me, I just am automatically able to go to whatever level they're at. There is no difference for me. It's all part of the work.
I guess it's interacting with people on psychological levels. It's only a level where they're at.
Yes,
and it's like that's not lower or higher. It's just where you can also assist people.
Yes, and there's no place of judgment.
Right.
There's no place.
You're going to be coming to New York to give classes, which I'm very excited about. It'll be on your website. And then talk about where you want to take people in these classes, how you see the planetary ascension, how you are assisting that.
What I really think is the goal here is to be able to put people in a forum where, of course, if they're there, they're certainly open to being there.
Right.
So there's step one. There's your awareness.
Right.
To then bring them to a place where I can offer awakening, and that's done initially by altering the chakras, unblocking, cleansing, aligning, rotating, bringing in, of course, myself as a conduit, bringing in that DNA structure that I told you about, which alters them physically, particularly in that sacrum area, to now accept light. And then the next step is to bring in the light via emissary for them.
Via the emissary?
Yes. And there are many emissaries here.
Emissaries, what does that mean?
Emissary is a higher being. It's a higher form of being. Someone who's either in human form, such as yourself, and they refer to you as, which is a very high compliment.
Thank you.
That is bringing forth light. Or someone who is, I should say, a being spirit on the other side, who actually is an ambassador of light. And that will be delivered through word form meditation that I may offer that I speak, or it will be delivered through my ability to alter cellular structure.
So we're really coming into the age of light.
Yes, and it's going to get very bright.
It is.
Absolutely.
And I know it's happening now, but is there a point where, you know, we actually shift to the next gear? Is there a date? Is there a time frame?
You know, most people, I think, are in the understanding there is no time frame on the other side.
Right.
We only function linearly.
But we do have the 2012 date that people are looking at.
Yeah, 2012, as the Mayans predicted, yes, there is much change. Will be a time of change, and that date, though, particularly, is a change of newness coming in. It's not destruction.
No.
The time frame that I see that has been offered to me is 2012 to 2015, and in this 3-year period, there'll be a tremendous amount of change, opportunity for the change. In
this next 3 and after 22. All right. Thank you. Do you have a message that you can you end, because we're just about out of time?
Sure.
I mean,
allow yourselves now to go into your heart chakra. Allow yourselves to accept all that we offer you telepathically. For now is the time. It is our guidance. It is with our true love and devotion for you that we offer ourselves. Fear not, doubt not. You have all that you need, and we will be there for you every step of the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks. The website is
www.psychicreadingsbysandy.com.
Psychic Readings by Sandy. And Sandy gives psychic readings, but you're going to go beyond that. She does give great one-on-one sessions that I totally recommend. And psychicreadings.com.
Yes.
And my website is NewRealities.com. And if you want to reach me, email me at newrealities@earthlink.net. Thank you for watching. Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you.